Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 242. We are here discussing the last 4 episodes of Turboranger. Yes, we are finally here. We are at the end of the series. Finally, it took long enough. Now, I thought I was going to finish it a couple days ago, but stuff kept getting in the way, and that's mainly the reason why we're doing this now. In these 4 episodes, which they do a very good job progressing the story here of basically what Neo Logger's plan is. Yes. So, in the case of 48, we learned the backstory of the Wanted Boma, like their origin story. Well, the way the old man explains it is that we have this devil-masked Boma who's injured and treated by a woman who's supposed to look like a Kurakura. We'll get to that. So, and they apparently after she treats him, he falls mad in love with her. No, seriously, they fall madly in love, and they have a child together. And apparently, the whole point of the Wanted Boma is to create peace between humans and the Boma. Yep, that's according to the guy says. Yanamaru does not believe it. Kara questions it for a while, and then it's revealed, oh yeah, this old man who told the story, it's actually Kura's father. Yeah, and then, of course, well, at one point being possessed by the Gum Gum monster, well, the thing anyways. Then, of course, basically, like, yeah, Moro basically wants to transform. He basically transforms the Gum Gum monster. He's free from it, and Kiru. And then, of course, Zini he gets possessed by it, and he passes off to one of his soldiers who gets destroyed anyways. In the case episode 49. This is pretty much the beginning of the end, where we unveil something called the Great Seal, where the whole point of the last few episodes is basically finding the Great Seal. Apparently, Neo Logger's plan is to break the seal and unleash 108 Boma Beasts. Well, Hero Beasts, as they call them. Yes. To do one thing and one thing only. Conquer the world. Yep, that is literally the plan of theirs. So, meanwhile, though, while looking for that, we actually have that, the spider monster that Yanamaru's had since his debut. Yeah, little spider cruncher. Yeah, it becomes an actual monster and becomes like his final monster he has the whole series. And this actually is the penultimate monster. Ranger spent a lot of time fighting, and of course, Kira finally just basically stops working with Yanamaru with episode 49. And then, of course, they think they found the Great Seal. And, like, this area, like, oh, is the Great Seal here? And the ground cracks. And no. This actually is the place of the Sealing Boma. Whose whole thing of his is that he can break seals. So basically, the whole point of he's going to break the seal. Where is the seal, you might ask? Well, it's revealed toward the end of episode 50 that this Great Seal that they've been talking about since the previous episode is, get this, underneath the Turbo Builder, as in where the base operations is the current one for the Turborangers. Yes, seriously. So they try to use a ritual to sacrifice one Boma to unleash it, to break the seal, but everyone gets freed anyways, and the Sealing Boma is basically stopped by the Dogamus, Bat Dogamus. Yeah, basically him making his final appearance in the series. And then with him killed, and of course Sealing Boma would basically be defeated. By the way, that's the last monster. Well, we do have one monster left. The leader of the Boma. Then Zata leads some fighters on the Turbo base in the final episode of the series. Oh yeah, by the way, it's revealed that apparently this whole area where Dr. Denzi built the Herd Builder, I mean, he knew it was some ancient fairy map. He did not have any idea of the fact he built this on top of the Great Seal. Which, gotta get parts for that. And the thing is, we don't find out about the reason why it's built here into episode 50. Now, the thing is, think first back in episode 28, and we're here at episode 50. Basically, it's when this is unveiled. So, I think for the longest time, people were suspected, or at least questioned why the heck this was put here. Oh, this is Great Seal. that we know anything about this. And then, of course, okay, in the final episode, so Zaten is basically shot down by the turbo blasters, and he's dead. Yeah, he dies. And he's not killed with the Rangers, surprisingly, in Percy. He just shot down and he just killed that way. And by the way, that was the last Bulma General. Yeah, the last one. I'm like, really? Yeah, really. That was the last official one. And like, okay. And by the way, there's no Wampas the whole episode. No, seriously, there's freaking none. You're thinking, really? No, none? So, Logan's final plan of the series is to have the Bulma Castle smash into Turboranger and unleash the seal anyways. So they break in, of course, they end up breaking into his base, the final episode, which, wow, that's quite something, breaking the final base. Now, you would think that basically that, well, we're in the Heisei era, they might abandon this. Well, no, we actually have this. Now, I'm glad we had to do this in the final episode, but so far, the only series I have seen for Sentai at this point in time, from Go Ranger, this one, the only one where they do not storm the base in the final episode is Denzi Man. That's the only one that does not happen. All the rest does, including Changeman. Yes, it does happen in Changeman. They do, in fact, storm the villain. They kind of storm the villain's ship. Well, when it's on the surface, but yes, at least they go on board the damn ship. Yes, it's kind of weird, though, that this mothership, this small bridge, is their base. Yeah, it's just quite weird, but it's space. What do you expect? But at least in all those series where they catch Benjamin, they do, in fact, break in. Now, this, of course, is the first full Heisei series. Now, you might be thinking, is there another Heisei series where it does happen, or in the finale, where they break into the main villain's base operations and go to the strategy room? Well, aside from this one, the only place this happened was in, well, it did not happen Jetman. Nope. It did happen Zoo Ranger, Dieman, not O Ranger. Nope, not O Ranger. You could say kind of in Car Ranger. As for, you think, okay, what about Mega Ranger? Nope. Giga Man? Nope. Go-Go 5. They did break into the base. They did. Not necessarily in the finale first say, but they did break in, so I'm counting there. Time Ranger. Nope, never happened. In the case of Gal Ranger, yes, that did happen. In the case of, what about, let's say, Geki Ranger? They kind of did. A few of them did, but I'm counting it. In Shurikenger, not Shurikenger, in Go Ranger, yep, it did. Shurikenger, nope. Go Sager, yep. Go Kaiger, yep. So, half of the ones I watched in the Heisei era basically have had this happen. And they fight him. And during the course of the fight, then all of a sudden Turbo Base gets an intruder alert, and Misa shows up. I'm like, lady, where the heck have you been for the past 4 episodes? And, okay, questions. Number 1, how the heck did you know this place was even here? How did you know this place is even here? How did you know that anybody was even here in the first place? As for why she's here, they actually do give an explanation for that. And you could kind of say that maybe Doc Hansen did explain the whole purpose of her Rangers to her off screen. So I'm going to give that basically to that one. But how the heck did she get here? I mean, here's the thing. In case you're curious, though, does this woman have a freaking car? Yes. That she drove in one episode of the entire series. Yes, episode 34 in a wasted cameo appearance by her. Yes, so why is she here? Oh, the graduation ceremony is tomorrow. Well, the very next day. And you're thinking, what? That's why she came here to remind them their graduation's next day? Wow, that's quite something. And give a lot of words of encouragement. And they do break out, and of course they basically get second wind. They chase Emperor Logan out of his base. And they eventually, thanks to using, well, they destroy him. But the Bulma Castle, by the way, the Wampas are basically just disappears at this point in time. Don't know what happened to them. They're just not seeing this on episode. So, and by the way, Yanmar was there too, and he gets sort of supposedly killed, but he's actually alive. So, he gets out thanks to Kara basically using the the registering of fate, gets him out, and eventually they use the super robo builder to blast the thing out of the sky, and that's Last Diploma. And Yanamaru and Kara basically go off on their own. They congratulate the kids on graduating. We don't see the ceremony per se. We see them in suits. And of course, we do see Doc Densey and Misa are kind of basically sad beside each other. And also, and of course, Celine. Which, of course, this actually is the first episode where Misa finally sees her for the first time. I'm like, you do know she was actually near her for several episodes of this series, and yet she never saw her. Doc Densey never thought prior to the final episode for having put on those goggles that he wears when he's only to see and hear her. And she finally sees her. And what happens to the fairy? She goes off to space to be with the Star Beast. Be up with Guardian Beast. And that's last you see of her for the entire franchise. Yep, she's never seen again. No, seriously. Never seen again. Excuse me. In the case of the team, well, they do pop up a couple times in the series. Now, Riki Hano, the one who's very injured, he actually pops up for a movie. Yep. And by the way, this you might find interesting, though. Final Sentai appearance of the actors who played Dan Nucci Yamichi. Basically, about 4 of the Turborangers. This is their final appearance in the final episode. Though Dr. Densey will appear as Wataru. Yeah, he will actually return in Time Ranger, which I've seen that. Great series. Kara will actually appear in Die Ranger, another series, basically, where I actually have seen. Time Ranger, I believe, was the 3rd Sentai series I reviewed. Die Ranger was one that came afterwards. So, it's great those 2 actors come back. Now, Wasaru, who is basically the father of the Red Ranger in that one, he actually is a good character. I do like the character. He doesn't appear a lot in that one, per se, but I do like his character. But in the case of Kira, well, still played by... Now, here's the thing. By the way, there are some things basically questionable about this particular finale. Like, here's the thing about this finale that... Okay, I do like the fact that we have a final battle. I don't like the fact that it was felt a bit rushed because the graduation was for the next day. Okay. The fact that we actually have Misa there just all of a sudden just walks to the base. Not knowing how she probably drove there per se, but how the heck she knows the place was here? Don't know. Okay. No problem with special effects. I do like the fact we see the Turbo Builder actually attacked. Yes. And it's just me, or is that we use the same... Now, here's the thing about the Turbo Builder. The combined with all the mechs, the base and 2 mechs, basically combined into one. This only basically was used about 2 or 3 times in the series. My only guess is because it was really expensive. The first this ever showed up was when they defeated Ligorn for the first time. The second time is basically here in this finale. Ligorn was defeated by, of course, apparently when he was in Giant's form this time, he apparently is a lot weaker, which is strange. Yes, why the heck we go Giants the second time, and he's weaker. And he's beat by a move that, by the way, it couldn't be the first time. Oh no, first time he actually was in phase off no problem. Yet here in the rematch, he basically just wins. Which I thought that was kind of weird. But in the case, now, the episode itself, sorry it has its problems, but still a pretty good finale. Final thoughts on Turboranger. Now, I had been hearing that this one was the first two series in a row where the writer wrote this one, who also wrote many successful ones in the 80s, wrote this one 5 men and then left, and then came back for O-Ranger and then left forever. Well, at this point in time, he was running out of ideas. Now, was there any reused ideas in the previous series? Not necessarily per se. I may have seen something like this, but the finale itself does feel like a retread of the previous series. No, not really. I do like the fairy aspect. I thought that was a really cool idea. And here's the weird thing, though. You might be thinking, though, about this one. Okay, do they have something like this again ever in Power Rangers? Well, we do have Zyuranger, which deals with magic too, but not much in the case of magic versus technology, which of course was the theme for Mighty Hunter Season 1. So, It does the similarities to Mighty Morphin. Like, for instance, the ground splitting open. That was a frequent used clip. Like, if you watch this show, it's popped maybe a couple times. You actually see it in Mighty Morphin pop up many times. They love using that particular the ground splitting open like that. Mostly they use it for, I think they use it whenever the Tyrannosaurus the Tyrannosaurus Rex sword. That's what that's when the Tyrannosaur, the one where Jason drives. That's one they use that one for. That's one thing I do notice by that. But the villains were quite interesting. Nobody was boring per se, though I'd still question of why in the world half of the series they basically kill off 3 of the main villains. Now normally it would say this for a finale. Not halfway through the series. This I thought was quite dumb. Really dumb idea, but I like the fact it was executed pretty well. I'm like, why would you kill them off? Like, they're very interesting characters. None of them are bad per se. I'd say Rosalina was a good character, but the only problem with him was he didn't do much. For someone who was the second command of the Palma, he practically did nothing a lot of the time. He just hung on the base, and Zata, he at least was interesting. At least he had a character. At least he did some stuff. Dark Princess Velma, who... The only thing said about this character is that we didn't get a chance to see her in bikini. Because here's the thing about the woman who plays her. She's a very beautiful woman. Now, have you ever come across any... Now, I think, is there any other series like this one where we're like, oh, half of the series, let's basically just kill off half the generals in just a few episodes? Yes. And it's something that Zatu gets killed 51, who by the way makes a very reappearance. The Waller soldiers do not appear in 51. No, they don't. Yeah. But this will be pretty much it, particular view. As of right now, I'm officially on break from Tokusatsu, so next thing video-wise, probably anything today, probably tomorrow, but One Piece. Okay, next video. Bye.